Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you guys now Game 3 in this series between Liquid Hero and Ryung. Game 3 now taking place here on Neo Planet S, where we are all tied up at 1 game apiece. If you guys are watching this as I'm putting the videos up, I will not be able to get to the rest of the games in this best of 5 series, so please stay tuned tomorrow. If you guys are watching this sometime in the not so distant future, but still past the 24-hour point, well, the game should already be there right there for you. Anyways, we have Hero spawning as the red Protoss on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, we have Ryung spawning as the blue Terran player here on the top right. Neo Planet S, we can see supply depots already coming in, pylon being placed down here. Interesting placements, as we are now making sure that there aren't any proxy buildings inside the bases. I believe that is the reason why. Supply depot off to the north here, and then maybe another building down over here eventually, making sure that there isn't any proxy buildings down in this location. Ryung is setting up a barracks a little bit away from the wall here. Not quite sure the reasoning behind that. If I could actually just sit down with these players, I would have a blast just picking their brains, asking them and getting a little bit more information from the actual players and why they make the decisions that they often make. We'll take a look at whether or not Hero alters his strategy. This scouting probe isn't going to see anything too out of the ordinary. It is going to be a standard refinery there. I believe that refinery was your typical 13 type, and that means that it should not have enough for a Reaper right off the bat. There's going to be a little bit of delay though, but I do expect it to be a Reaper expand. Reaper expand has become very, very common, as the Reaper does move around the map extremely quickly, able to get some scouting in. This SCV making sure that there is not any sort of proxy pylon and proxy gateway in his neck of the woods before he moves on out. Meanwhile, this SCV is going after the probe here. It looks as though, oh, that probe is going to take a little bit more damage once again. And this probe may end up just getting shot down. This probe, where is he going next? Is he going to warp in a pylon? It doesn't look like it. No, he's going to head back up to the high ground and perhaps warp in a pylon here. That's not going to really work though, as the Terran player can just start the command center here before lifting off and landing. We are going into a reactor now, and this is one of those plays by Terran players that I happen to really enjoy. The reason why is it doesn't force the Terran player to build a very, very early second supply depot. Now, this command center is actually a bit delayed. Not quite sure what he is waiting for. Waiting until he had 500 minerals, and now what is he going to be doing next? He is also setting up a supply depot back over there. Ryung did not seem very sharp there, as he did lose a little bit of time, and now we're going to see the probe make its way back in. The probe is scouting around here, perhaps going to try to get some damage onto that SCV. In comes the Reaper, though, and the Reaper is going to get some easy shots onto that probe. The probe will get taken down. The reactor is down in play, as well as we are going into double Marine production. Now, Ryung should be setting up a bunker here on the front door. Marines will be rallied to that bunker. Meanwhile, let's take a look at Hero. Hero not in danger of anything either. He seems to be in a pretty good position now. He seems to be in a really good position. He does have the mothership core, which should protect him from any sort of Reaper harassment. All this Reaper can really do is try to get some scouting. The Reaper cannot go toe-to-toe against a Stalker trying to trade regenerating hit points from the combat drugs to the regenerating shields. The shields just regenerate, I believe the hit points regenerate faster. It's just that there is many more shields than hit points for this one Reaper to try and make anything of it. We can see now we are going into one of each building. Barracks, factory, starport. A very linear build here, as the Reaper was able to sneak inside. This is a huge, huge scout here, as the Reaper now going to try to get away. Is there actually enough room? Oh, looks like he was going to try to do a little bit of a juke, and oh, he might make it. He might make it. No, the Stalker on the low ground. Beautifully placed there, as Hero gets his Reaper and takes him down. We are now working our way, getting some Widow Mines as well. We are setting up another barracks. There is a medevac as well, as we're looking at a small contingency force here, 8 Marines and 1 Widow Mine making its way out across the map. Now that Widow Mine does deal a lot of damage, 125 damage plus 35 versus any Protoss unit essentially has shields, and that is going to be doing essentially one-shotting many of these stalkers. There you are going to see that Widow Mine, taking a little bit too much damage. Is it going to burrow in time? No, it is not. Ryung should have known that it would not burrow in time, as the Oracle now comes in as well and gets in some very easy shots as well. This is not looking good. Beautifully placed Widow Mine, but the stalkers have in fact disengaged. The stalkers did not try to chase, and now Ryung is in trouble as Hero is sitting on a 10 supply advantage. Let's take a look at the worker count. 41 to 33, very high difference, especially when you consider Hero can still chrono boost out more and more workers. We are now transitioning into Phoenix play, interestingly enough. Phoenixes are good at shutting down drops against Terran, but overall, Terran players can generally try and avoid the skies. I'm interested to see what Hero plans on doing with these Phoenixes, and whether or not Ryung is going to perhaps even set up a missile turret or two. One of the only reasons why Phoenixes are effective against Terran is that many Terran players don't get the proper anti-air measures against expecting Phoenix play. So this is more of a surprise tactic than anything else. Once the surprise is up, if Ryung can respond and set up a missile turret or two, even with autosec tracking, those Phoenixes are pretty much going to get shut down before it really gets started. One Oracle also joining in on the fight, activating that pulsar beam. It does take 25 energy initially. That is going to have a very nasty effect right there. As you can see, there is a Widow Mine right there. You have to be extremely careful. What is going on? Is it going to be able to do anything? There's the Graviton Beam. Nicely played. And there you go. You can see damage is being dealt. The SCV is getting taken down there. The medevacs, the Phoenix is now flying back around the Oracle, out of, or no longer activating that energy, as the Phoenixes are going to be taking down another SCV. There goes another, as the Marines are unable to catch up. Some very fancy flying there. One Oracle, 4 Phoenixes, activating the pulsar beam on that Widow Mine. That was a huge play, and Ryung now being forced to set up missile turrets in both locations. Now, the follow-up on this is that the Phoenixes are going to be effective against Vikings. Phoenixes actually have superior air-to-air when going up against Vikings because they are not armored units. You can take a look at that there. SCV does get taken down, but at the cost of a Phoenix. That was not a good trade there whatsoever. The missile turret didn't get the kill, but it did the majority of the damage. Kill steal there. Now, Hero already setting up the third base. Very strong play. Again, you can see another SCV has been picked off, and Ryung is just being forced to sit inside his own base. Most of the times, Terran players need to have their command center or orbital command up, at least, if not operational, at a base before the Nexus comes down. We are about neck and neck as we are looking at a Stalker and a Marine going head-to-head. That Stalker will finish off that Marine with no problem. That probe getting very, very lucky, not getting shot by that Marine for that final hit there, as we are setting up proxy pylons on the top left and perhaps even on the bottom right. Ryung does have that third orbital command, but it has yet to lift off, as the Vikings now making a bit of a play, but I don't expect them to be moving very far out. We are already getting into Viking production, but what is the medevac count at? That is the important question. 4 medevacs though, and Ryung, it doesn't seem like he has really that many units. There's a nice revelation there, and that means Hero is going to know where that flying army is majority of the time for quite some time. The Vikings trying to get into that position are not able to really spot anything at all, as the observer is still watching over this third base off to the north. All right, you can see that the Marines are there. Nope, they do not want to engage. The Marines are trying to run away. It looks as though, yes, we are going to be going after that. Those Lancer torpedoes, however, doing a fair bit of damage. The Vikings unable to catch up. The Marines now trying to make their way over as well, as we're looking at a large move coming in from the Protoss. The Protoss does have a larger income, but the supplies have pretty much evened out and now gone in favor of the Terran. All right, here we go. We are going to see a bit of an engagement here. The medevacs are a bit slow. What is happening? The Phoenixes now wandering around as the Observer was shot down right there. All right, the Vikings now giving chase. Are the SCVs perhaps going to repair these all-important units? No, it does not seem that way, as the Zealots are now getting caught by those concussive shells. So far, we are just vying for position, going back and forth, nearly even on supply. Army supply versus worker supply, 10 difference nearly in each of those from each side. But the main difference is also the production. Gateways, while they are on cooldown, actually don't show their production numbers. So this could be a very big difference. As we're now getting into a large number of gateways, we will soon have we will soon have 9 gateways operational in just a moment here. Observer is correctly positioned all across the map. You can see a massive SCV Marine Marauder force here, and that is a whole bunch of SCVs. That is 20 SCVs. This is essentially this all-in attempt here, as it is going to try and absorb a bit of damage. All right, that's not going to be good, though. Those Colossus going after all those units here. This is pretty much an all-in attempt. The Vikings going after the Colossus. They are now taken down. Psystorm now comes in, and all of those Marines and those Marauders have to be extremely careful. Both sides taking huge losses, as the Immortal now trying to fight back. The Vikings need to go into ground mode, but there are Immortals in position, and that is just going to make things bad to worse. There we go. That bad fight there, as the Zealots unable to follow up and unable to do any more damage. Ryung now losing many of his workers, now down to, I believe, 37 workers, and 29 workers were lost there. Archons now finishing things up. Ryung with his all-in, and it did not work, as Ryung is going to fall behind 2-1 in this series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game number 3 in this best of 5.